Hello, this is Dark Flame Master Death. I'm not sure I regret the name, but I've noticed that it's a bit difficult to explain what class you should pick in Final Fantasy XIV. I have over 5,000 hours in this game. I'm mostly a casual. I've tried my hand at Savage. I found out that I just get smacked the fuck out if I don't have, a fixed party. Randoms and Savage just hurt me too much, so I've resigned to being a casual that tries to increase his stats. I think I started playing 3 years ago, so I've played it immensely hard. I've learned best the basics of this game. I think I'm a good person to talk about this. The answer to your question for what class is the best class is very simple. Um, there will always be a lot of argument about how to optimize. But what you should ask is what class are you going to enjoy? What kind of theme do you want? What kind of playstyle do you want? What kind of class is going to enable you to play the way that you want to? Now, if you are not interested in, and I'm just gonna assume that if you were satisfied by that, you wouldn't be watching this guide. You would go and you would just pick the cool class, like, oh, I want to throw fireballs, thaumaturge. Now, as a warning, I would recommend don't go thaumaturge if you want to be big brain. All right, if you want to be satiated by complex rotation, don't pick thaumaturge. People have quit this game over thaumaturge, so just understand that. The fire spell caster is very boring, is the first thing that I can tell you. I can tell you what classes can be dangerous for a person that wants to have fun, and the number one most dangerous to having fun class is thaumaturge. So and on the flip side, if you just kind of just want a chill ride where you just go through and just blow everything up and not really try too hard and just proceed through at a leisurely pace, that would be thaumaturge. Or if you're new and you don't want to heal or tank, thaumaturge. So I'm gonna make a new character. Sure. Whatever. I don't care. So it takes you in, and I'll try to do this quickly. To answer your question really quickly. So we're just gonna, so we've got Vera, Hrothgar, Ora. These are expansions. If you don't have expansions, you can't be these. There are some gender specific ones. Vera's can't be male, Hrothgar can't be female. So I'm just gonna assume, oh, and a warning, Lalafels get discriminated against. If you want people to accept you for who you are, you probably shouldn't play Lalafell. It really depends. If you just want to be a short stack running around being cringy as all hell and somewhat adorable half the time, pick Lalafell. Elizin, their personality types tend to be very analytic. All the NPCs that are Elizins either tend to be scholarly types of folk that overanalyze things and are bad at kind of catching the vibe of situations, or they tend to be extremely confident, warlike people that think nothing of the blood of their enemies. So you're either a Mega Chad or you're an intellectual Mega Chad if you're an Ellison. They've got some awkward animations to, kind of show that they're not really good with socializing. You've got Heroes, which are boring. They are the only actually discriminated race amongst NPCs. There's, later in the Miners Guild, the first time you get a reference called Hero Friendly. So Heroes are considered to be stupid, but they're the general populace and have the highest chance of being refugee. I don't know why you'd want to be a hero, but they are extremely rare, for getting married. You hardly ever see a hero get married. I don't know what to tell you about them. Then there's Catboy. It's the most popular one. You're a Catboy. I'm not going to explain it. I got to explain other things. So we'll just, I don't know. Chadicus. Sure. I won't explain this. You can go explore that yourself. This is good. Whatever. Take me through. I want to explain the classes to you. Whatever. No, get me out of here. Please. Come on now. You can save your appearance data. So if you like the way your character looks, you can save it and then apply it to a new character later. Or if you drink a Fantasia, change your appearance, you can then pick a new thing. So this is whatever. You just have fun with that kind of stuff. Picking a deity does give you a resistance, but it's so minuscule that it doesn't matter. I think it used to matter in like at 1.0. Does not matter anymore. People might argue with you, tell you, oh, well, technically it adds a bonus to resistances. Nobody cares. Nobody notices. They only want to tell you that it matters so that they can be special. It doesn't matter. Pick the one that fits your RP theme. Now, we've got Gladiator. I'll just run through this as fast as I can. Gladiator becomes Paladin. He gets really good at protecting allies. And he gets a self-heal called Clemency. It's Paladin RP if you want that. All the tanks in this game are roughly serving the same function. They all have their own way of filling the needs of the party. The only times when you would want to pick one, only times when you would have to pick one tank over a different tank if you're fighting a specific boss. It really doesn't matter what tank you pick or what class you pick. Well, really, pick the one that you think is fun is what I'm saying. All the tanks are going to have their own little way of filling the role. But this is Sword and Board, and you've got Marauder. That's a big axe. Marauder is known, but becomes a warrior, and it's best known for being the DPS tank. Some people will even stubbornly assert that the Marauder isn't a tank, and you should shut up, because clearly it's a red symbol. There's a huge stereotype with warriors being DPS, being really gung-ho and just not caring at all about the party, doing as much damage as possible. It has a berserk move. It can really plow into an enemy. And it is the DPS tank. There's a bunch of memes about warriors, and I think it can be really satisfying to, how the berserk move works is for 15 seconds, I think. Yeah. Every hit is a critical hit and a direct hit. Every hit, everything that you do crits and direct hits. So direct hits are mini crits. So not only are you mini critting the enemy with everything you do, but you're also big critting. And so you would it's a burst class tank. Anyway, we'll move on to explain. And there's also classes that you can't start with. There's Dark Knight. If you're interested in being Dark Knight, it unlocks in Heaven's Ward once you go through probably 100 hours of play. If you're being leisurely, you get into Heaven's Ward. You get somewhere into the Foundation, you unlock Dark Knight, then you can play Dark Knight. You can also go into the cash shop and just purchase Dark Knight, but I would recommend do not use the cash shop. There's just cool stuff, alright? You'll be circumventing cool stuff if you use the cash shop. Also, I think certain people might regret it. So then we've got Thaumaturge, like I've talked about. Don't pick Thaumaturge if you want to be stimulated. If you want to be within the melees, pick Thaumaturge. Blow shit up. This is your choice, alright? Thaumaturge is a DPS. Arcanist is a DPS. Lancer is a DPS. Pugilist is a DPS. Archer is a DPS. Archer is special just like Arcanist is. Archer is a ranged class. What this means is in the first dungeon of the game, you're going to have your AoE ability while no other DPS has it. So you'll be putting out the most damage in the first dungeon. Also, Archer gets Peloton, which means you move around faster. You'll have a faster movement speed in the early game. You also start in Gridania, which means you're in a city that is easier to learn. So if you're absolutely brain dead and new to the game and absolutely do not want to play a healer, pick Archer, alright? Archer is also the only class that can kill a level 12 treant at level 1. If you get potions, you can kite the level 12 around and kill a level 12 right out of the gates. Also, Arcanist is special in the way that it morphs. It levels 2 classes at the same time. Now, it is my opinion that if you can, if you're okay with being a spellcaster, Arcanist is amazing. The only reason why you would consider Arcanist to not be the best early game class in the game is if you just didn't like the vibe. People will always argue about this. People want to debate and min-max and optimize and, assert dominance, what have you. This is just my opinion. Alright, I think Arcanist, because of its self-heal at the beginning of the game, and because when you hit level 30, you can play as a healer, meaning you get insta-Qs. You get high damage outside of a dungeon because you're a summoner, and you have fast Qs in dungeon. You have the best of both worlds. The worst part about being in DPS is that you don't get the Q. You have to live without the Q. You'll be in a dungeon queue for 20 minutes at the very least if you're playing a DPS. So all of the DPSs suffer from this, and it's kind of a good idea to pick White Mage. White Mage is the only... Conjurer. Conjurer becomes a White Mage. Conjurer is a good class to play if you absolutely just... You're okay with playing a healer. You're okay with being a heal bot. If that's true, pick Conjurer. You'll get a fast first dungeon. You'll get a fast second dungeon. All of your dungeons will be fast queues. You won't have to wait around for a queue. Now, Conjurer is the only healer that you can start as. Now, White Mage is also considered to be the definitive healer for endgame. The only thing that other classes can boast is the utility. I think that's just a desperate cry for help. The other healers are dying. They are in pain. You can combo with the other kind of healers, like if you want to coordinate with your DPS, Astrologian and Scholar can be kind of good for a burst window. But ultimately, it seems that White Mage is really beating the ever-living shit out of all the other healers, and it's, I don't know. White Mage privilege, whatever. It's just, they're really good, and I don't like it because I want Scholar to win, because it's edgier. Lancer's really fun if you want to just have fun. Alright, if you just want to have fun, Lancer is great. It's kind of a stimulating rotation. Go for it. You'll learn about how cool it is. So if you don't like the idea of Thaumaturge, of it being boring, and you don't want a magic class, and you don't want to be a healer, and you kind of liked Warrior, Marauder, but you don't want to queue as a tank, Lancer's probably a good pick. The same with Pugilist. If you want to punch things instead of stab things with the lance, Pugilist is good. Pugilist is fun. It's also considered to be one of the anime classes. There are certain anime classes in this game. There's also some extra ones. Samurai, Ninja, Monk. Now, Pugilist turns into Monk, and that's basically the Goku class. I'll say it again. There are classes you can unlock. You are not dedicated to a single class. You can change your classes. I should have told you this before. You can swap classes, alright? You can go accept a quest that unlocks a new class for you. As if you're not in combat, you can change your class. That's how it works. And you level them separately, with the exception of Summoner Scholar. I would suggest to you that you play Arcanist. Unless you just hate the idea. And then you pick a world. You can hop worlds, but you cannot use a guild bank from a different world. You cannot join a different world's FC. And that is just about it. I hope this guide was helpful. You go have fun playing the game, alright? Take care.